Hey, Doc. I am back with another wonderful guest. I am so excited to have Dr. Tolulope Olabintan. She is a dear friend. She is a board certified family medicine physician, also lifestyle medicine physician, and she is a mom just like you. Welcome, Dr. Tolu.
Thank you, Dr. Toria, for having me on. I'm honored and delighted, not
Yes.
petrified, delighted.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad. I am so happy. I haven't seen you in such a long time. I'm very glad that we can do this. Let's get right into it. Tell me, before we talk about your kids and your husband and all of that, what was your idea of motherhood before you became a mother? And where did it come from?
Oh, wow. Being a mom to me was like a person who could be all things to everyone. Where'd I get that from? Between my mom and the Proverbs 31 woman, the virtuous woman who had money, helped her husband, helped the whole village, and apparently still looked good. I'm like, yeah, that's who I want to be. I didn't. My mom didn't prioritize rest. Still doesn't. It's hard for her to chill. Like when she sits, she leans forward. I'm like, Mom, lean into the chair, and she's always trying to help, which is great. But I saw that as ideal. Be all to everyone when they need it, independent of how you feel. Like you're supposed to be a strong woman. That's motherhood. So that's what I took to be the definition. Yeah, I think subconscious or yes.
Wow. And was it aspirational for you? Were you like, yeah, I can do that? Or was it like terrifying?
It was actually aspirational. I like to challenge myself. So if you type A, like, ooh, yes, I'm going to be this person. If she exists, then I can do it. So it was inspiring. It was a challenge. It was a moving target. So, and I do believe in many things in life. You keep working because there's always something to upgrade. So for me, it wasn't an illusion. It's just something that maybe at the end of time I would get to. Yeah.
And have you arrived?
Ah, I've understood it better. I've
Ah,
understood that motherhood is a ministry. I've understood motherhood is learning when to ask for help and receiving the help. I've understood that motherhood is prioritizing yourself so you can prioritize those you love and you're sent to. I've learned that the virtuous woman had help. She had maids.
that's right.
She had a community. She had friends, and she knew how like what to put first for herself. Others didn't get to do that for her. Yeah,
Mm,
so that's the sweet spot. We're going to unpack it, but I've
mm.
lost things on the way to there. It's cost me on the way to understanding fully what that means. I wish I knew it sooner, and that's why we're here.
That's right.
That's why
So
we're here.
with this wonderful image of this virtuous woman in your mind, tell me about when you met your husband and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to step into my role.
When I met my husband, I was in residency. It was actually in fellowship. I was in fellowship. I finished my residency. I went to do a surgical women's fellowship where I was the only fellow there, and the other person didn't show up, but the workload didn't reduce. And
Oh,
so, my mindset is always, oh, it's a privilege to work, for someone. Like, come on, you do. So they didn't know that the schedule they were doing, they wouldn't look at what was done last. So I would have come off of a call, let's say Sunday, but the next block they would put me on. So I had unending calls, and I thought that was normal. But they didn't look at the schedule, and I said nothing. So I think 6 months into the program, I met with the program director. Interestingly, she actually sent me a message right before this. I looked at her on Facebook. She said, "I'm very happy that you found your niche and you're
mm,
expressing it fully." I actually told her I thought she hated me. I said I thought it was kind of she said, black women, one black women were the only ones here. So you just I don't know.
right,
I said I thought you hated me because my schedule. I don't understand how you expect me to be on call back to back 6 days straight, and there's no break.
right.
And then when I'm in the OR, she would train me in such a way where she would want me to get the baby out in under, I think, I don't know, under 6 minutes or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, the baby can't breathe. And then when we're done, she'd be like, good job. And so, like, and then the OR people would come to me because I'd be crying. I'm shaking, and she's like, great job. And so when I met with her, and she's like, no, that was not my expectation. That was the expectation you put of yourself. I mean, you could have said
Mm,
something. I was like, well, I didn't know too. I felt like I didn't want to complain.
right,
He's like, no, you're a hard worker. We just thought
right.
you were gluten for punishment, so we let you run. I said, but that's not.
Wow.
So that's lesson one. So I had met him, and at that time we were dating, and I would share some of these stories. I actually thought he would leave because I complained a lot, in my opinion. But he was like, that's okay. This is the season of your life, and just ask for. He's the one actually encouraged me to ask, so I did. And then fast forward, we got married, had our first son. That was rough. But
Rough
prior to
how?
that, it was rough because I had a tough pregnancy, so I was in the hospital with him for 24 weeks. And this
Whoa.
is very I my water broke at 24 weeks, so I was in the hospital
Wow.
from 24 and 6 days till he delivered at 34 weeks. Now
And you
this
made it to 34. Wow. Okay.
yeah, so it was that's the whole miracle, that's a whole different story. But the few months before I was pregnant, and and that's why I was really eager to come on this podcast because I can't believe some of the things I did, and I was bleeding, so I was having miscarriage. Now, mind you, during this time I'm doing OB, so I do deliveries. I'm in the hospital.
Right.
I'm working at a hospital with residents and I'm supervising, so I have to go in sometimes, and I'm bleeding.
You weren't attending by this point.
I've been attending, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm bleeding. I'm 11 weeks pregnant, but I'm like, no one should suffer because of what I'm going through.
Mm,
So I do deliveries, and then I go into my attending room, and I bleed and I cry and I
wow.
come out because nobody should suffer because I was. And then a year later, oh no, no, maybe when I got pregnant with my son, I was in the hospital and I was wondering why the program director was trying to reach me, and I'm like, why? He was trying to apologize for the organization before I would get the letter, and I'm like, what's the big deal? He's like, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate you and for all the work, and we're keeping you in our thoughts and as you're in the hospital. So obviously I'm on bed rest. And then I get a letter a week later saying that because I did qualify for FMLA, I wouldn't get paid. And I
Wow.
remember my husband telling me, babe, I love you, but I'm hoping this is a lesson. So you lost your pregnancy while working for them. But because you didn't qualify for FMLA, you don't get paid because you're in the hospital.
Right.
I need you to know what's important, to always put the first things first.
Yes.
When I had a miscarriage, it's like, what would you tell to your patient who was going through a miscarriage? I'll ask him to go home, pelvic rest. He said, you went on call. You were on call overnight and you bled through the hospital. Did anybody know? I was like, no, it was not theirs to know.
Mm,
So sometimes I think it's the messianic complex. We think we're this robot. We set unrealistic expectations for ourselves that cost us more than they should. And then we get angry because
mm,
somebody else is taking what they need from us because we don't know how to take what we need to.
yeah.
That's not balanced.
And say no and choose ourselves. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry you went through that.
I'm still crying. That was years ago,
It
but
doesn't
it
matter.
yeah.
Yeah. So when you had your water break, what happened exactly? Where were you? How did that happen?
It's so interesting. I was actually on vacation the next day. I was supposed to be on vacation. It was the day before my birthday, and we're supposed to travel. I know. And I was going to go, I was supposed to do an ultrasound. I'm like, I don't know why they are obsessed with ultrasounds. We can reschedule. My husband's like, no, let's go. So I go, and they tell me I'm 2 centimeters dilated,
Mm,
and one of the limbs of my son is kind of dangling a little too low, and then I had to go
wow.
to the hospital. I was like, no, 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 no. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. We're not doing this. No. Of course, I cried. I was like really upset, and so 2 hours later, I was packed and in the hospital.
Mm,
And it was multiple doctors, consultations. Sometimes they didn't agree with what the plan was for me. Even at 34 weeks, they were not even sure. We send her home because I hadn't delivered. Uh,
mm,
at 32 weeks, there was a scare. I went to the OR. Thought the baby was going to come, but we prayed it stopped. Contraction
mm.
stopped. So, but we made it to exactly 34 weeks. He came.
You went into labor or they induced you?
Oh, so there are ways to induce. So the night before, and then
Uh, The
That
night before what?
the night before we had the baby.
No,
Yeah.
I need some explicit. Say it
So
explicitly.
we had sex, and we
Wow.
the baby came because we like the
You
doctors are confused. I
you
said,
were
let's
one of those people.
yeah, I was
Hold
tired.
on.
I was tired. I was tired. I was like, babe, we're 34, lungs are long mature. They've given shots. I'm tired. I mean, I've been there 10 weeks, 6 days. I literally would felt like I was going crazy. I had read books. I had meditated. I knew the pattern. I could tell when it was people were about to get off work. I could tell you the pattern based on the road. I tried to escape a few times. I was caught. They called security. So I was ready. So I was
Oh,
like,
wait, hold on, hold on, hold on.
I
Let's
tried to jailbreak,
let's
man.
back up a bit. What do you mean you tried to escape? Did you really?
Okay, so when you're on bed rest, they have to put the things to prevent blood clots. They have to put it in
Yes,
your
the
legs.
STDs.
Yeah, so they put it on for the first 2 weeks, like maybe 4 days after I was there, strictly bed rest. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand on my own. So I called. I'm like, I need physical therapy now. This is so weird. I can't. Like I wobble. I was like, no. So they did
Right.
that, and then I hadn't decorated the house yet, and I was like, no. So I tried to sneak out. I took my phone with me. And then my husband goes like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm by the hospital. You're by or in?" Because he knows how I play words. Like I won't want to lie. But I'm by the hospital. By or in? By. He's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to come out." So he helped me escape. I'm not suggesting this for anyone. We drove out. I went to the house. It was, oh, I cried. It was dusty. I had not set up the room yet because I thought I had time, So I looked around. I cried. I was like, babe. So I told him, gave him instructions on where I want the bed set and when things were delivered and how, because what I pictured, this was nothing like I'd pictured. So
Right.
I gave instructions. And then the next thing I know, they're calling, this is missing. I'm like, oh, fine. I'm just around the woods.
So where was your IV? Did you take it out?
Oh, there are ways you can detach it. Yeah.
Well,
And
so it
I'm in
was
the
still
medical field.
in it
It
was
was in
still
me,
in
yeah.
your body.
Yes. I'm a medical field. I just detach it, just twist the knob so the
I
water
know
doesn't.
you know how to detach it, but I was
Yeah.
wondering if you took it out before you left.
No, because I don't like getting stuck. So I just kept it and I just, I went out.
So you had a plan to go back. You just escaped for
I
a
yeah,
little
I
while.
did. I just needed to get out of that place, man. It was the same house. They moved us though. They moved us because I needed two fridges. I had people coming to the house. That like, oh, so this is the importance of community. So I let people pour. People would bring me food. I would feed some of the staff. I would feed people who come visit because I had food brought to me, and I said they asked me what I wanted to eat. Before I'd be like, no, I'm good. I don't want, but I let them. I let
Yeah.
people support me and give me the help I needed during that season. Yes.
Yeah. That was a long, I always think about what it's like for patients who PPROM and are there for weeks and weeks and weeks. Because at my last job, we had to get to a point where it had to be routine that people got outside time because it wasn't always. They would stay in the room the entire time. It could be months. And yeah, I mean, I've never had anybody escape quite like that after practicing. I graduated medical school in 2011. I've never had somebody escape
I am she. I am she.
in that way. Um, but yeah, that is amazing. So, you know what I have had happen? I have had people who have been PPROMed have sex in antepartum. And I cannot believe that you are one of them.
I am she.
That is amazing. So, I mean, I'm going to get real graphic. So, how long from the time that y'all had sex to labor starting?
Maybe 8 hours, 7, 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it
Wow.
worked.
They didn't have to give you any pit or anything.
Nope. Like I was cramping. It hurt. Now it got to a point where I was stuck at 6, 7 centimeters, so they had to stop me and pit. Ooh, we had a whole plan. It was gonna be worship music. I'm like, get your hands off me. Epidural now. Yeah, all my plan went out the window. We used to
Yeah.
play worship. We play worship, but I'm like, I now. Yeah,
So the
so
worship was supposed to help you with the pain?
yeah, because God's presence. I'm like, yes, Lord, you're gonna help me through this. I want to do natural. I want to be the strong Hebrew woman. I don't need nothing. Girl,
That
I am
virtuous
thankful
woman. She
that
doesn't do epidural.
oh, I am so thankful for the gift of epidurals. Ooh,
Amen.
Lord, Amen.
That is hilarious. Okay, so you had, I'm assuming, a vaginal birth, yes?
Yes, Yes.
Okay, everything went fine, and you went home. How was postpartum?
Whew. So postpartum, and this is where I would share part of my culture, not in a way to down, to put my culture down, but just the balance of it. So one of the things we do is when you have a baby, 8 days after you have your naming, and people come and they celebrate with you, and they're expected to be fed.
Mm.
And so, and I'm also a little bit of a neat freak, so I expected my house to be tidy and all the things. So I had thought I would have to cook. My husband was like, no, usually people come together and cook. But I was like, the expectation to even have a woman who just pushed out a human being do that is ridiculous. It's like, no,
Right.
it's a celebration. So I understood the balance of people help you cook, they nurture you. There's a heating, almost like warm compresses that are done around your womb to help you with the healing process. Usually your mom is around to help you with babysitting the kid. But I wanted my house perfect still. I wanted to portray the image of a capable woman who, even though has just pushed a human being, could still be all the things. Mind
Yeah.
you, my legs were swelling, my hands were swelling, and my blood pressure was 160 over 100. I went back to
Oh,
work because no FMLA, that's money now. So I went back to work in a week.
what?
Yes, I did. So that's why we're having this conversation. I went back to work in the week because I had not gotten paid for 10 and a half weeks. We have a new little person. So it's also why at my work, even part-time get AFLAC, short-term disability.
Wow.
It was such a, that's my PTSD response. It's like no woman should ever have to go through that. And so I went back to work, blood pressure 160 over 100. I'm like, I was in the hospital for 10 weeks. I am not going back.
Mm.
I tend to eat healthy anyway. I elevated my legs. I was working. People were like, "No, you need." I'm like, "No, we're gonna pray this away." I didn't tell my husband. Interestingly, he didn't. He didn't know. He didn't know.
Does he know? Does he know now?
Yeah, now he knows. He was like, I can't be. And then my mom was with me, and one of the things I did that I tell people not to do was even when my baby was sleeping, I was cleaning, I was, I was making things ready, I was being the things I thought I needed to be to show that even though I had quote unquote lived in America, I was not Americanized. I was still the
Ah,
strong Black woman. I was still the
yes.
strong, so I
A
could do everything.
strong Yoruba woman.
Okay, exactly. So it put undue pressure on myself. And one day, I will never forget this. My son had apparently had some problem breathing, and my husband had tried to get my attention, and he said, I didn't wake up because I was so exhausted from staying up.
Mm.
And guess what, Dr. Toya? I couldn't remember that conversation.
Wow.
Ooh, that scared the crap out of me. It was then I realized that I remember saying this to the Lord in prayer. I said, Lord, clearly I'm going to have to take a dump. I'm going to have to go out. This kid can't be with me all the time. Like, I can't. So I'm going to need your help for for the things. Like, it dawned on me, like I was going to go get grocery. I'm like, okay, this little person, my mom wasn't there at the time. I'm like, I I have to take them with me or have it like it. Oh my life is forever changed. This is week 2. Blood pressure is high. I feel off, but this is life. And so I remember praying and saying, Lord, I need you to help me. I can't carry the anxiety of having to watch it. This is someone that was in the hospital, was in the NICU, had to be in the NICU for about a week after. So we actually had the naming at the
Mm.
at the hospital. The
Wow.
pastor came and a few people, and I was like, it scared me. So I prayed. I remember asking God for help. And I remember one day, it was a few days after, at 1 a.m., I feel the Holy Spirit prompted me to get up. I got up and I went to see my mom. Now, there's something we do where you put the baby on the back and you're trying to get
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
seat. I told her not to do that. He was bringing out food from his nose, and my mom was going like this. She couldn't see him,
Oh,
but I got up in time to go and say, "Mom." So he was essentially choking on his food. My mom
right,
was like this, and it was 1 a.m. And I said, "Mom, don't do that." And she's like, "Oh my
right,
God, how did you know?" I said, "The Holy Spirit woke me up to know."
right.
So community, my relationship with God, my family, my support system, women. Like now we're in a group of people where when people get pregnant, have babies, we take turns 1 week providing food for them. So at least the first month they don't have to. Because I've been there. I've been
Yeah,
that mom who didn't speak up. I've been that mom who was trying to be everything and wouldn't ask for help because I didn't think it was normal to ask for help. And so I need all the things: my relationship with God, my parents, the systems in place, asking, saying no, and all the things to thrive as a mom.
that's right. And you learned it the hard way, the
Yes,
very, very hard way.
yes, I did.
Wow. So after how long did it take you to learn that lesson? Because you had preeclampsia. I didn't hear that you seized, even though
Thankfully. Yeah.
thankfully
Yeah.
you had to go back to work. Like, how long did you endure all of that before you learned this lesson?
You know the sad part? Well, not the, well, the ironic part is now looking back.
Mm,
I'm learning the lessons in the last maybe three. It was COVID. It was
mm,
COVID that really did it for me. And then I went back and I looked at patterns. I think it was another podcast where I was talking to young moms, and I was like, don't, some of the things I was saying that I did, I was shocked because I tell patients don't do that. It was COVID that did it for me. When COVID happened, I'm a hugger. So COVID took that away from me. Patients, no hug. When I get home, I had to be hosed down, showered, like I had to run, like there was a whole process. And so it it did a number. And I sat there and I remember trying to talk like televisits. I had to talk to people, try not to kill themselves, like literally talking to
mm,
someone saying, don't, I'm going to call the cops on you. And I realized that even my husband was actually, he was like, he liked it because we were all home. We were all doing our little video things and people were outside, but we couldn't really relate. And at that time, my husband was not a hugger. It was my daughter. And so I remember like I would look at patterns where my husband, like my parents were around and my siblings who were loud and they would stay up late. He would just excuse himself and go to sleep. I
mm.
would stay up and, stay late as they wanted, entertain and have to wake up early because my morning routines are a big deal to me. I'll do that. And 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 I would get annoyed and feel so sorry for myself. Like I was doing the things, doing everything, but everybody was taking what they needed and being okay with it. And then it hit me. I'm like, it's not my husband's responsibility to fill my cup or make me joyful. He contributes to it, but it's not his responsibility. I need to ask for what I need to fill my cup and take it. So I started asking my daughter for hugs. She's a hugger. She loves to hug. So I would kneel because then she was what 6. She would kneel and I would hug and we would even cuddle and I would hug. And my husband's like, what the? I said, you're not a hugger. I still call her my favorite hugger. My husband doesn't like it. He gets jealous. Like she's my favorite hugger because she helped me through. She would hug and lean and say, "Mommy's going. You okay?"
Mm.
You know. And so now, in the mornings, I ask for hugs. When they walk to me, I pray for them. I sing over them. I speak words of power, like you. Oh, look at you, daughter of destiny, and I hug them. I take my hug.
That's
Mornings,
right.
I take. Now he's like, I don't get hugs, so now he gets his too. But I take it. I have learned to say things like, "All right," like my parents came over one time, love them and they were taking too long. And I said, all right, since y'all won't leave, because they were supposed to end at 8, there's food. I'm going upstairs to sleep. My dad was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I know.
Pause. How big of a deal is that in a Yoruba family household? I just want to set the context.
Ooh, even my dad was shocked because that's not something I typically do. But
Yeah.
because I knew how much I needed my rest to do all the things I do, I was okay with the balance of win for you. Here's food. That's the
Yeah.
TV remote. That's stuff. When y'all done, you can lock the door in the back. Like that's just press that and be done. When for me, I get to rest and not be resentful or crankier in
Yes.
the morning. Yeah.
Yes. And let me ask you, are y'all still close
Oh,
after
yes,
that?
we are. We are. In fact, I've learned ways like I send videos. So because if I call them, I love my parents. They talk long. How you doing? Oh, well, my dad would call me for an important meeting. What shirt should he wear? Or like, oh, something really important. I'm thinking of, what do you think? I'm like that. When you text me saying call me, it's important. You make it sound like it's a medical thing. He's like, no, I looked, I calculated it's lunchtime for you. So I figured you shouldn't be doing anything. I'm like, okay. So I learned to send videos to let them know I love you. I may be busy, but I still love you.
Yeah.
I think of you. Here's a video. And they will send videos back to communicate. So I'm learning ways, creative ways to still get win-wins for me too. And it's not selfish, it's wisdom. Hey,
That's right.
it's wisdom.
There's so much wisdom. Oh my gosh. I want to go back a bit because I don't want to miss anything. I feel there's more. So tell me after you had your son, how long was it until you had your daughter?
It was a year and a half, 18 months after, because I was like, let's get this over with.
And how was that entire situation?
It was easier. It
Okay.
was easier with her. My parents were around, both of them. I also made sure, I was clear to communicate, like, okay, this is what I want, this is what's important. I understood that, baby's chlorine on the floor was okay, because then I used with my son, I'll put a blanket so he could crawl, like you can crawl on the floor, you'll be fine as long as there's none. You like, she bumped her head a few times, just a few times. Yeah. So you relax a little bit. With
Right.
him, he was born early. There was a lot, so there was a lot of hovering. So with the second, it was kind of easier, and she walked quicker. She knew how to, like, she wanted to eat her own food, grab her own things. She didn't like to be fed, so she liked to be independent. So it made it easier. So that was easier. And since I had learned from the first one, asking for help,
Yeah.
I understood that, okay, we're going to order food and things like that. And mom, this is what we're going to eat because I know you like this. Me making this, I can't be making this. Well, that's too much work. So y'all can. Here's the freezer. Let me know what you want me to buy, so y'all can make all the foods you want. And that's a big deal in our culture. Usually, you cook
Yeah.
for everyone. So my mom, like, I'm like, mom, what do you want to cook? What do I can? Do you mind? And because before, no, I cook for you. It's my kitchen. This is my home. I run this. I'm the woman here. You know. So now it's like, what do you want to cook? Here you go. Oh, what did you cook? Can I have some? Yeah.
Right. Let me support you in cooking for me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I have known you for a long time, but now everything makes so much sense because you have had such this is hard earned wisdom, right? Going from this idea of a virtuous woman and then trying to be that and not valuing yourself and your body with, the miscarriage and learning the very hard lesson that these people really don't care about us. We are not their top priority.
Really. Mm.
We have to be our own top priority. And I'm glad that your husband was there to help you with that lesson and to support you in that way. And now I understand why you are such a delegator. Because what I didn't mention in the beginning is that Dr. Tolu is also the proud owner of a private practice in Texas, and she is a boss ass. I won't finish that because she's also a woman of God, but she is a boss of a very large, very successful primary care practice and the best delegator, the biggest team. And to think that that's how you were before to where you are now. Like you didn't, there are a lot of people who haven't learned the lesson still. So this is amazing. So tell the doc out there that's listening more about your practice. You've already given so much wisdom. Let's hear about your practice as well.
I will say this. One of the things I also learned that has helped me in the practice is you have to teach people how to help you. I used to get
Ah,
mad at my husband. I used to get mad at him. Every birthday he would buy, like, one year. Oh, I did bad in this one. He bought me roses and Cheesecake Factory. I hate the roses. I like the smell and they have thorns. I'd rather you get me plastic one. Don't like cheese. He brought it. My parents were there, and I'm like, I was upset visibly. And then he's like, I want to buy you expensive things. You keep wanting to buy. I said, it's like you don't know me. I don't like
yeah.
thorns. Like thorns, they're thorny and they don't smell good. And then you buy me cheese. I hate cheese. So even my parents were like, for her, like, this for our daughter. So I was like, even my parents were like, good. He's like, no, I just thought I wanted to do something a little out of the ordinary. And so I said, you know what? So I had the choice every year because I'm very good at birthday parties. Like, I can, I'm very thoughtful with gifts. One year for him, because he never had birthday parties, I felt sorry for him. At age 33, I bought him a gift for every year as if it was his birthday. But he never
Oh,
forgot. Yes. So I'm that deliberate. Then we used to have, like, we'll have our own, like, money, like, we keep and we can spend how we want. I saved mine so I could buy him really good gifts. Now he's the
nice.
week before, he's nervous, like, oh God, whatever. And I'm laughing, like, oh yeah. But I take my time. So I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm pouring. He's not. I said, you know what? I'm gonna tell him. I said, babe, for this year, that spot. I would like to eat there. These shoes are on sale. I know you want to buy, but this, like, he bought me Adidas, some expensive shoe. My daughter is wearing it. I'm not, I'm sorry. It's not, that's not my thing. But he bought me, it's from Aldo, and he had
Mm,
flowers. weird looking shoe. And my mom was like, uh-huh, that's my girl. So he felt good, but I told him what to get. And then I
Yeah.
acted surprised. So every year it's like, okay, what would you want? So sometimes we get angry when people don't read our minds.
Yeah.
So now I said, babe, I like when you grab my butt in public. Now when we're in church, we do too much, it's awkward. I'm about to go pray, you grab my butt. So I'm like, I like when you're not giving me attention, babe. I like attention. He's like, oh, okay. I said, but then you tell me it's too much. I say, I know, ask God for wisdom, give you the balance. I like it, but you have to dose it, So you have to tell people how to help you. The
And
the
you have to
next
be that specific too. And to also not just say it once and that be it. Yes,
over
I just
and
wanted to
over and
highlight those gems because there's so many gems. I want to make sure you're getting it, Doc. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, but so with the practice, what I'm doing is I'm always thinking, what are ways that I can delegate this? Because the only thing I can do that no one else can do is run my practice and see patients the way I see them. Now I teach my nurse practitioners and my PAs and my physicians soon, whenever God gives me one, how to be like me. I don't hide that. To me, it's not worth like that's increased capacity. So I
Yeah.
teach my team, come watch this video. What do you think? How do I help you thrive? So I empower people to thrive in their role, helping me. So it's a
Yeah.
win-win for everyone. And that's the trick for success for everyone. So when I'm having people help me, when I'm delegating, I also want it to be a blessing to you. It will help you keep doing it and keep doing it well.
Yeah.
And that's the sweet spot.
Amazing. Amazing. Dr. Tolu, I wish we could go on, but I know you have patience for your wonderful, amazing practice. And I want you, Doc, if you're listening and you're like, I want to work for this woman, guess what? She's looking. So tell the people where to find you.
I am on the web, www.livingspringmedicals.com. You can also email me directly, hello@livingspringmedicals.com. I'm also on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. If you Google my name, you find. And I'm big on direct messaging too. So you send a message, at some point it'll get to me and I'll respond.
Yes. And where are you physically located?
Oh, sorry. We're in Mansfield, Texas, not too far from Dallas, where we help people live long and well because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. Please come join us. You love it here.
Exactly. If you want to join a thriving primary care practice, call her, contact her. You want to be around this wonderful woman, don't you? I mean, you've gotten so many gems in what, 30 something minutes. Imagine if this was every day, right? This was amazing, Dr. Tulu. I'm so glad that you were generous enough with all of your stories and your wisdom. I really appreciate it. Let me know, do you have anything else you want to leave the docs that are listening with?
Thank you for inviting me for this. And I really, really appreciate you giving this topic a voice because it's really, really important. And the balance of life is that you get some too, right? The Bible says, love others as you love yourself. It's balance. That's the balance of nature. Really important.
Wonderful. And in general, that word balance is used in a way to overwhelm women. This kind of you must do it all, and that's how you can have it all, and you find this balance. But that is the best way that I've heard it used. Balance what you are giving out with what you are giving to yourself, because that is important.
Yes.
Oh, so good. Dr. Tolu, this was amazing. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad you could join us. Thank you. And Doc, all of her information will be in the show notes. And make sure that you follow the podcast, subscribe, write a review on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review everywhere else, and share this with another physician mom because these stories are for us so that we can feel a little more seen and a lot less alone. And we have done it, people. We have been through it so that you don't have to, right?
Hmm.
Even if you're in it right now, listen to Dr. Tolu, listen to me, learn from our mistakes and from our hard earned wisdom and make some changes. And if you're having trouble, you are so drowning, you cannot even see a way out, reach out to me. That is what I do. This is what I help physician moms do to navigate all of this and to live a life that you wake up and be like, wow, this is my life. doing exactly what you need to do. So schedule a free coaching session. The link's in my bio on my website, drtoyacoaching.com, and make sure that you come back for another wonderful guest like Dr. Tolu. They are all this amazing, I'm telling you. And I will see you on the next episode of Stethoscopes and Strollers. Bye.